What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, look, again, we got more chitter chatter, talking about the Iraqi dinar rate. Man, this has been an ongoing conversation, but before we get into that, let's get out the unpleasantries. A disclaimer, I'm not an attorney, a tax advisor, or a financial advisor. Please consult with real professionals. The following is my opinion and my opinion only based on my own research. I will share the information that I find with you and encourage you to read or listen to the information so that you can form your own opinion. All right, you guys? All right, just a quick reminder at the end of the video, if you like the content, please like and share, and please do subscribe if you're not a subscriber already, because it does help out the channel and I surely do appreciate it. All right, quick reminder that if you're not already, there is a Facebook group with the same name as the YouTube channel, Pimpy's Investment Chat. We do talk about all kinds of things in there, and I do see from time to time people addressing me in their posts. I try to get to all of them, please understand that. But the number of notifications that I get sometimes makes it really hard, but I always try to play catch up. But just in case you guys could post a question in there are a lot of knowledgeable people in the group who'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Okay, if I can't get to you. We talk about everything from the Iraqi dinar to the Zim dollar to the Vietnam dong, cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, you name it. It is discussed in here. Okay. Also, you guys have been asking a lot about this. I'll keep reminding you. I have another group called The Hidden Things in Front of Your Eyes. And in here, there's all kinds of conspiracy goodies. So if you're into that 9/11, false flags, any kind of things that most people would consider a conspiracy, you will love this group. This link also will be in the description, so you guys can come check it out. It's actually almost starting to catch up to the number of members I have in Pimpy's Investment Chat. I didn't realize there's that many of you who enjoy this. I started to make videos for the other group, but then stopped, and maybe I'll go back to it. But anyways, nonetheless, the two groups links will be in the description. And some of you keep asking me about the buying cryptocurrencies. Go into the description. There's a link there. It takes you right to a location where you could buy Bitcoin and stuff like that. All right, you guys? So don't be afraid. Follow the link. It gives you $10 free. And then after you signed up, you can go down to where it says earn free cryptocurrencies, and you can earn up to about $150 worth of free cryptocurrencies. All right, so here we go. Let's get into this. So parliamentary sources, Al-Qadimi's government will print the currency to pay employee salaries. Wow, what does this mean, Pimpy? Let's find out. Parliamentary sources confirmed Thursday that the government of the Prime Minister Kademi will go to print a new local currency in order to pay the salaries of employees. But here's my question. They have issued already 55 trillion dinars. Less than 5% of it is in country. Less than 9% of the people have banking accounts. Where the hell is all that money? Why do they need to print more money? Why aren't they using the money that they've already printed? Makes you wonder, don't it? I still think that the Iraqi dinar is going to be used somehow as a poor man's reserve dollar. It just makes sense because I can't understand the need to print more. But there's good news that follow that. The sources said to the news the measure is one of the solutions to overcome this economical crisis that is ravaging the country. So it is necessary to find harmless solutions for future generations, such as the use of cash or gold reserves in a central bank. He pointed out that after the application of this procedure, we expect a decrease in the Iraqi dinar exchange rate against the dollar. This is good. In other words, they're going to change the dinar rate. Now, I know people are out there going, what does this mean? There's people are seeing this two different ways. So if the rate is one number and it decreases, in other words, decreasing the amount of dinar you get for your dollar, that's actually an increase for us dinar holders. So yeah, I can understand why people are looking at this back and forth, but let's keep reading and see what they say. So if the application of this procedure, we expect a decrease in the Iraqi dinar exchange against the dollar. Okay, stressing this will have a positive impact on activating the industry in Iraq not resorting to global or regional markets that provide goods to Iraq at low prices because of the high exchange rate. The dinar is compared to the other currencies such as Turkey, Iran, and others. So let's read that again. Okay, so this will have a positive impact on activating the industry in Iraq and not resorting to global or regional markets that provide goods to Iraq at low prices because of the high exchange rate. The dinar is compared to the currencies. Okay, so how is this possible? So what do you mean? The rate is really, really low. So what this means is this. When they import goods, it actually costs them more. They cost more of their currency because their rate is too low. They need to make it more competitive. There's a sweet spot around $1.34. What that does, it means this. They're not killing themselves with inflation, printing out a ton of currency so that they can buy more goods or import more goods. But instead, what they can do is they can start opening up companies within Iraq and start buying within the country and rely on themselves. But they want to make sure that the wages are competitive so that people don't start resorting to the global community to buy their goods. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. So I can understand why people are seeing this both ways. We will see what they mean when they say increase their rate. To me, this is going to be interesting. And decrease in Iraqi dinar rate. So what do you mean decrease? Are you going to, it didn't say devalue. This is decreased Iraqi exchange rate. Huh. Wow. That's a good question. I guess you can look at it both ways. I'm not sure what they're meaning when they say that, but let's keep going. The financial advisor to the Prime Minister, Salih, had determined on Wednesday that the loan disbursements that the government intends to request from home and abroad. Salih said in a press statement the government submitted a draft law to the parliament in order to authorize it to borrow from internal and external financing sources in order to bridge the deficit and enhance public financial liquidity when necessary. Well, we already know what they could do. Just increase the damn exchange rate so that you guys have more purchasing power. And borrowing came because of financial hardship that the country is going through. Well, guess what? If you want to pay back the loans and you increase the value of the loans, that means it takes less Iraqi dinars to pay back the loans. This is a benefit for you. That means you're spending less money because the rate has increased. Does that make sense? Yes. So anyways, he added, the legal cover did not provide the government with internal or external borrowing due to the lack of federal budget for the year 2020. He pointed out that internal and external loans will be included in the event of legislation for the budget for the year 2020 or its alternative, the financial or the final account at the end of the year as a reality. Salih said, external loans will go towards supporting investment projects and completing the stalled ones at the urge and need to launch them, while internal loans will be allocated towards the operational budget of the government needs for insurance and salaries of others. It is mentioned that the Iraq Council of Ministers approved the draft of the domestic and foreign borrowing laws to finance the fiscal deficit for the year 2020 and refers to the parliament in accordance with provision. Okay, so yeah, you can see up here, they're already talking about messing with the exchange rate again. But this is interesting. So one group of you are perceiving this as this is good because if the rate is 11.90 and they lower it, that's actually an increase on our side. The other part of you guys are going, well, wait a minute. No, that's not what it means. If they decrease the rate, then that means what? That it takes more Iraqi dinars per dollar. So yeah, I can see what you mean. I can see how it could go both ways. This is a good question. It's kind of hard to figure out what they're saying here. He pointed out after the application of this procedure, we expect a decrease in Iraqi dinar exchange rate against the dollar. So if it's decreasing, well, I don't know, man, decreasing in what? Decreasing in the rate? Decreasing the value? That's a good question. So yeah, my phone was blowing up today. I said I had not seen the news yet. Give me a second. So yeah, I can understand where the confusion is. And to be quite honest, I'm not sure how they're meaning that myself. Now I know there's other people out there going to pump you guys full of freaking hopium and blow smoke up your ass and say, hey, oh, this is what it means. No, 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 no. They can't. I tell you what, tell them to prove it. How can they prove it one way or another? The article does say decrease, but I'm curious by what they mean by that. Now, having said that, we also heard that there's a possible wave of negative news that's going to come out about the dinar to discourage people and turning it in the whole 9 yards, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I believe all that. My point is this. I'm going to hold on to my dinar and see what happens. I don't trust a lot of the crap that's floating around in the dinar community. I want to see for myself what they do. For the first time, Al-Qadimi's government meets demonstrators. And was it? That'd be funny if his name was up. The office of the Iraqi Prime Minister, Qadimi, announced on Thursday that the government will hold its first meeting with demonstrators and the was-it governor. A delegation of Prime Minister advisors, Qadimi, met Thursday with representatives of the protesters and activists in was-it government. A statement from Qadimi's office said to the news. The statement added that the government delegations met in a tent for the protesters on the road leading to the I'm not sure, oil fields, and protesters' demands were heard. Nothing that the government delegations pledged to transfer the demands to the prime minister. Okay, we already know that Qadimi is making very, very, very clear that he is going to listen to the protesters and that the protesters do make a good point. One of the biggest things is not just the corruption. That's huge, and we already know that Qadimi is doing something about it, but also about the fact that their currency has no value. I remember that was one of the biggest arguments that they said. This guy said, I have 250 dinars in my pocket. It's not even worth a quarter. So let's see what the protesters, I don't want to be out there working my tuchus off only to get paid a lot, what looks like a lot of dinar, and it's trying to give me the impression I'm getting paid high, only to find out that my currency isn't worth squabbly. So yeah, you got to do something about that. You got to increase the purchasing power of the Iraqi dinar. So if I have, I see a car that I like and it's costing me right now 30,000 dinars, you increase the purchasing power of the dinar, then all of a sudden that car costs me 10,000 dinars. Man, I'm a happy camper. You know what I mean? That means my dollar has more purchasing power. That's what I'm hoping to see here. Okay, so let's see if the protesters get what they need. Anti-government protesters and a ruling political class had toppled the previous government. So they're capable of doing it again. Look, if Al-Qadimi doesn't go out there and start doing what the Iraqi people are demanding, they have the right to. I wish we did that a little bit more here in the United States, to be quite honest with you. It looks like they are starting to step up in cities around our nation, but it's admirable for what they did. Okay, so we'll see. And then earlier I read about this, so they're trying to say that, the gold is falling after the U.S. Central banks rolled out the possibility of adopting negative interest rates. We don't want negative interest rates, and let me tell you why. So what happens is if you get negative interest, how a bank makes money is this. They loan out money, and they collect the money back with the principal along with interest, all right? That's how it works. And if you save in there and they share the money that they collect with you, that's why your savings account usually has a 0.5%, 1%, or whatever it is return. It's the same with your checking account. You get money back for holding your money in there because they're using your money to create other money. If they go negative interest rates, then you actually lose. So the best thing you do is take all your money out of the damn bank, because if you leave your money in there with negative interest rates, you're actually losing money. It's costing you to just let your money sit there, okay? So you don't want that to happen. So I'm glad that the Federal Reserve said no. I do like the fact that this looks like a Q for you Q followers, huh? Okay. But nonetheless, the gold is still above $1,700. It's looking good. It's seriously suppressed, but not as much as gold. And this is ironic. Did you guys know that Joe Biden is tapping, of all people, Jamie Dimon to run the Federal Reserve? No, what are you talking about? Man, that's like putting the wolves in with the damn chickens. We don't want that to happen. This is the same guy that is, again, under investigation for a fourth time. For what? Manipulating the value of silver, keeping it down too low. It is going to shoot up like a skyrocket sooner or later, but Jamie Dimon is not the damn person I want running the Federal Reserve. You think we're enslaved now? Those people will make it way worse. Okay, so what's going on here is we will release the salaries of the for the people. The Ministry of Social Affairs announced on Thursday that the 50% increase in prominence of employees in the Departments of Retirement, Social Security, is to guarantee the release of guaranteed worker salaries after the middle of this month. Okay, so for those retirees, they're going to start getting their money back. So it looks like it's at a 50% increase. We'll take it. You know what I mean? So good. Let's start getting people paid. Again, what we want to do is get people off unemployment, get them off entitlement programs, get them off welfare, get them off cash aid. Let's get them working. So instead of the government paying out money for those who don't have no jobs, what ends up happening is what? If you get them jobs, then they don't take money from the government no more, but in fact turn around and pay into the government. All right, so let's keep an eye on that. But nonetheless, these are other things that are going on in here. Look at Parliament security reveals the most prominent axis of the upcoming negotiations between Iraq and America. I will tell you this as I read through the articles. What Iraq and Kademi and them are saying is, look, we can't just be so reliant on one country. And they're talking about the United States. We have to have the ability, in case we get in some kind of pissy match with you guys, to be able to buy arms or be able to protect ourselves. So they're talking about, look, the option to buy weapons from Russia if we need to, including the missile system. So Kademi, again, is this making sure that, look, we're not going to allow America or any other country to corner us to get us to do what we want. We need to be sovereign. We need to be independent. So it's going to be interesting what they have to say about that. So look at this. We in the Security and Defense Committee asked the military leadership to have multiple weapon sources, even when Iraq's relations with any country are affected. We have other alternatives, such as the Russian S-300s and S-400 missile systems, as Iraq is making an effort to obtain these weapons. And all these issues will be present at the negotiating table with the American side. Okay, so look at there. This is good. This is good to see Iraq saying, look, we need to be sovereign. We need to be independent. We are putting on our big boy chonies. We are kicking off the training wheels. But if that's the case, then we have to be able to negotiate with whoever we want without feeling trapped. So I do like that. Okay, guys. So I do like the fact also that, look, at the United Nations has been really active in talking about how happy they are about what's going on over there in Iraq. And of course, where's she at? Our number one Iraqi UN person, bless her, there she is. So we want her to be happy. So what did she say? The ambassador gave the speech of the Iraq on behalf of the Prime Minister Kademi and she began her praises with the efforts made by Blashar in the support of Iraq for the period covered by the report of the Secretary General, stating that the wave of demonstrations that erupted in Iraq is an expression of the state of mass discontent because of the lack of confidence in public institutions and failures in meeting the challenges. Okay, but she is the one we want to be happy. Okay, because we know that the UN does have a say-so on what's going on with the rate. Okay, so we'll see if she feels like they're on the right track and she gives a green light, then that's what we want to see happen. So the UN has been over there. The UN has been speaking on behalf of Iraq. The UN has also been relaying messages on behalf of Iraq and is setting up meetings in Iraq with the United States and the IMF. This is what we want to see happen. Okay, guys, so it's looking good. We're on track. I know a lot of you guys are asking about what does that mean on the top. I get it. I see it. I don't know what they mean one way or another, because I do get why it looks like they're saying they're decreasing the value. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean I could buy more Iraq with my money? Or does that mean they're to decrease the rate? And that means if that's the case, then if the number, the 1190 goes lower, well, then that's an increase on our side. So is it decrease on their end, which gives us the increase, or what are they talking about? So yeah, I get that, but we'll keep an eye on it. We know they need more purchasing power. That's the direction I feel they're going in, but we will soon find out. All right, you guys, so don't feel negative. That's not necessarily a negative thing. In my opinion, a decrease in the rate is what we want. And what I mean by decrease, I don't want to see that number increase. What I mean is I want to see that 1190 decrease, go down. The lower that goes, the closer it gets, those 4 digits after the decimal. We want to try to get them not to the left or the right of the decimal. We want that sucker to get so low that the number starts falling on to the left of the decimal, if you get my point of view. All right, you guys, so that's it for now. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.